Hello everyone, the Anime Dao here with another video. This time we will be looking at light novels. A lot of anime adapt light novels, and here are 5 good light novels that have yet to be animated but that definitely will be in the future. However, before we get to the video, consider subscribing, leaving a like and ringing the bell. It really helps a ton. To start off, we have Spy Classroom. In this story, wars have moved from open warfare between countries to the shadows between spies. We follow Klaus, who will be taking on a dangerous mission with a 90% mortality rate. Before this mission, he has been teamed up with a group of girls that are all dropouts from the Spy Academy. What's up with that? The first volume reads like a one-off work, but it sets up some interesting plot points to the future. It has an interesting idea, and spies seem to be a trend in Japan, seeing how popular the manga Spy X Family has become. Spy Classroom is a blend of action, comedy, and of course harem romance. The high number of girls means each girl has to have their own spotlight, but the series balances this well. The girls each have their personality and skills they specialize in, and their motivations for trying to become spies. Spy Classroom is one of Fantasia's recent golden eggs. It emerged first as the grand prize winner of their Newbie Authors Award in 2019. It was then turned into a series and has since then taken off to become one of their most promising titles. An anime in the future is definitely coming, especially now that it gained even further attention because of its second place on the Konoranobe Gasugoi 2021's rankings. Spy Classroom is a great title that I can't say it does anything new, but what it does do, it does well. Next we have The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten. The angel in the title refers to Mahiru, the school's top beauty, who on top of that has the brains and the athletic prowess. She lives next door to the slob Amane. Whilst they are neighbors, they do not really know each other that well, but one day he helps her and she offers to help him around the house in return. It sets up into motion a story and the budding romance between the two. Angel is a cute story, and it lives off the sweetness of the interaction between the main characters and the slowly building romance between the two. Angel Next Door is one of the biggest titles under the GA Bunko label. It has also been awarded twice with top 10 placements in the Konoranobe Gasugoi rankings in the last 2 years. This brought a lot of attention and boosted its sales. But it was absent in the GA Bunko 15th anniversary event, where many of their top series got anime announcements. But this is mostly because Angel Next Door is still a relatively new title. Actually, the fact it's new just means its sales are even more impressive, hence an anime in the future for this cute sweet romance series is a sure thing. There are many series like this, but this one just feels really good. Next we have the Demon Sword Master of the Holy Sword Academy. This is a fantasy school battle series which together with romance are the staples for light novels. Demon Sword follows a demon lord that falls into a deep slumber, and when he is awakened many years later he finds out that his body has changed. It turns out he has now the appearance of a human teenager. The world also has changed a lot and he finds himself curious as to why. The main character, no longer after awakening, stumbles into a girl who takes him into the Holy Sword Academy as a new student. In this completely different world, the main character finds himself trying to adjust whilst investigating what exactly happened whilst he was dormant. This novel has become a great selling title for MF Bunko J, and an anime should not be long now as a result. And that's for good reason, because whilst it is not a groundbreaking series, there's an interesting main character who's strong and level-headed. Being level-headed is important because the series can be quite edgy with the day-to-day dealings of the main characters with various girls. But in these interactions, the main character does not act stupid, which is a plus. This is a fun series with great action, cute girls and various personalities, and some great edgy scenes. Next we have Reign of the Seven Spellblades, which is another fantasy school battle series, but it has stood out from the rest with its darker tone. Alongside this darker tone is better exposition, action-packed scenes with good writing. This just means overall it has a higher quality in comparison to its peers. It follows Oliver, who becomes a new student at the Kimberley Academy. In this academy, youths are trying to become competent mages. The series strives to develop the world and this school through exposition and various interactions between the characters. This means it has a large cast of characters. So Oliver at first is somewhat not an interesting character, but throughout the series he gradually gets developed alongside the main female character. It took a while, but this series became one of Dengeki Bunko's most promising titles. only because of its sales but also its quality. It received a lot of attention after placing first in Konoranobe ga Sugoi's rankings in 2020, which made it a darling of Dengeki Bunko. It's receiving a lot of attention, and this was further boosted by the rise of the author's other work, Unnamed Memory, which actually topped the Konoranobe ga Sugoi's 2020 book rankings. It is definitely being groomed into a bigger hit, and that means an anime is definitely coming in the future, and fingers crossed it should be great. Next we have Chitose-kun wa Ramune bin no Naka. Chitose-kun takes a spin on the usual school romance comedy series by having the main character be a normie, or ryaju as it's called in anime. He's not an average Joe, but one of the most popular and handsome male students in the school, who is surrounded by other people like him. So he's in the upper echelons of the school hierarchy. The way he acts leads many people to bash him in the school's internal network board, such as calling him a man whore and the likes. This reputation does not matter to him, but when he's tasked by the teacher to help a truant student, he has to face the people that bash him. Chitose takes an interesting spin on rom-coms, and that makes it stand out from the rest. A popular main character is not new, but creating a story that explores the contrast of positions at school is refreshing. The main character knows his dislike, but he wants to prove himself as someone able to do anything, and that includes helping others at all costs. Chitose-kun has a lot of promise, and having topped the Konoranobe ga Sugoi's rankings this year only will help it boost it further. It has now become one of the most promising titles from Gagaga Bunko, and it has already received a drama CD adaptation and an audiobook adaptation. It's a turn on the school life romance comedy series, and an interesting one at that. Next, we have some good titles that are breaking out at the moment. Rakuen Noise, a light novel that follows a boy that finds a video he posted online of him performing dressed as a girl goes viral. He's worried at first at the thought of being found out, as everyone became curious about the identity of the mysterious girl. But since he had covered his face, he thought it was safe. How foolish. He's eventually found out by his music teacher, and he then finds himself forced to cross-dress and continue to perform as the girl, or risk being exposed. Through this he meets various eccentric girls that are talented musicians themselves, who all have their own secrets and insecurities. This sort of setting with cross-dressing is one of the things you can only find in light novels or in select manga, and that's not a bad thing. It's these sort of stories that makes me appreciate the medium. This is a nice story, and the characters and the interactions are all fun and interesting to see. Rakuen Noise is a very new title, but one that seems to be getting that push, and it seems to be giving returns for the publisher. It has a manga adaptation coming this spring, and it will most likely feature in the Konoranobe ga Sugoi's 2022 rankings, and it will be interesting to see how it goes from there. Marriage is usually the happy ending for a romance comedy series. However, in Kurasu no Daikirai Joshi no Keikon Suru Koto ni Nata, the story starts with marriage. Two classmates that fight whenever they meet end up having to get married due to family circumstances. So basically, you have two people that are always getting on each other's nerves suddenly forced into living together and even sleeping in the same room. This is a cute romance series, especially for me, because I like the idea of relationships changing from dislike to romance in a romance series. The interaction between the two are really fun, and it's cute to see how it changes over time. This series is not actually a light novel original title, but a series that exploded in popularity on YouTube of all things as a webcomic, and since then it has received a light novel adaptation and a manga adaptation more recently. This shoujo-esque setting on a more shonen-esque work seems like it was something people didn't know they wanted. I can at least say that was the case for me. Next we have God is Hungry for Games, the ultimate brain of a boy who challenges the god. A series about defeating gods at games. Sign me up. I enjoyed No Game No Life, but I always thought that series has too much fan service. However, the idea of underdog humans fighting back against creatures far superior to them through wits and trickery in games has a lot of potential. It can be very exciting, and this series does that as well as No Game No Life. That is why it has instantly become a promising series for an MF Bunko J. The story follows Faye, the main character. He's someone who's challenging the gods at games. He's accompanied by a former god and others in this battle. It's a fun series that is quite new, but it has a lot of promise, and I see it becoming one of the future top sellers. If you have watched the video till now, consider leaving a like, subscribing. It helps us a ton. Thank you.